What are some simple fixes that we can do to fix hunchback? Whether this is exercises or just anything in general. I'm kind of at a loss here. I'm trying to improve the overall posture in my body. What can we do? So, before we begin, I wanted to just talk about what hunchback is. Hunchback isn't a actual scientific term. It's not a medical term. You don't go into the diagnostic book of all these different things. It says hunchback, or an anatomy book, it says hunchback. Hunchback simply being is slang term for having a rounded forward posture. It's basically where your head is sticking forward. You might have kind of, if you think of literally the Hunchback of Notre Dame, it's where your head's pointed forward very far. You might even have a little bit of shrug in your shoulder. It's basically a very ugly looking posture that can lead to a lot of pain in individuals. And not only can it lead to a lot of pain, it just doesn't really look very good either. Not a lot of people like how it looks. So, how in the world does hunchback happen? Obviously, when you're a baby and you come out of your mother's womb, you don't look like this right away. So, what's really causing this? And there's actually a few different reasons that could be causing hunchback in individuals. One of the ones is actually an age-related change in your body. Now, this is something that a lot of people don't want to hear because they think, oh man, then there's nothing I could do about hunchback. Yes, there is still plenty you can do about hunchback, but I do just want to note for a starter that for some individuals, especially older individuals, there are some age-related changes in your spine that simply happen just because of age. It just happens. Your body gets a little bit weaker, your bones get a little bit weaker, everything just kind of deteriorates very slowly. Again, this isn't to say that you can't not do anything about it. We are going to discuss some things in a second that you can do to help fix your hunchback, but there is some part of it that is genetic. That's one thing. And also too, with age, it is just something that usually does happen. You'll probably notice a lot of older adults, if you go to a nursing home or go visit your grandma and she maybe lives in a senior living community, there's a lot of people that just have a hunchback, and that wasn't really anything they did. It might have somewhat be from some lifestyle stuff, but a lot of times too, it just kind of happens a little bit. Another thing, and this is more leaning towards the things that we can actually focus on and really just put a lot of attention on to fix hunchback, is our posture, having weak and tight muscles. So your posture in itself is essentially just being aware of, I need to have my chest out, shoulders back. I just actually fixed my posture in my chair in this exact routine. This is going to kind of deviate from others because some people have really good posture and they don't even try. They literally don't even think about it. I've had to work on my posture a lot over the years. One of the things that I actually attribute getting somewhat better posture from, in addition to exercise, is actually meditating. I meditate on this little stool every morning and there's no back on it. So because of that, I have to keep a really straight back the entire time, which when I do this, of course, I'm strengthening all the core muscles in my body. Speaking of weak muscles, usually when it comes to bad posture, we have weak muscles in our back. So the muscles that actually pull our back and scapula into place. A lot of times we have tight shoulders. We have maybe even a tight areas in our neck. There's lots of different areas that can be tight and weak. So some of the areas we need to stretch, usually around our pecs or our chest, and then we also need to stretch some muscles around our neck, in addition to strengthening a lot of those areas in our back, which we'll discuss those in a second. Another thing that could have actually happened, and this I don't have a lot of formal experience with, thankfully, but trauma. So I want you to think, if somebody got into a car accident, this might have led to something where they may be permanently kind of in a position where they can't really extend their neck very well, or maybe their scapula got broken, so they don't have as much scapula control, so they're just always in this kind of bad rounded forward position. That could be another thing layered on to all of these other ones that could lead you to kind of have that bad hunchback posture. So what are some simple ways we can fix hunchback? What are some stuff that you can do? So the first little bout of things is some posture exercises. And these are all things that I would recommend looking on YouTube. I'm just going to give you a few kind of bullet point ideas. But chin tucks are a really good physical therapy exercise that help with this kind of feeling of hunchback. In addition to this, trap Y raises, those will actually work your lower trapezius muscle, which are very underworked and very neglected when it comes to having good posture, so that will help as well. Band pull aparts will work the postural muscles in your back. Super great exercise. Dumbbell pullovers, doing some planks. Planks will kind of strengthen your core. And as we just discussed earlier, having a strong core is incredibly crucial in maintaining your overall posture in your torso area. So the stronger the core you have, the more easily it is for you to just sit up nice and tall. As I just discussed earlier, when I do meditating now, a lot of that time I'm just spent sitting straight up in good posture position. So it's really, really, really much more difficult for me to actually have body posture because I'm practicing it every single day. And that's a main thing too. You got to be focused on it and you got to be doing it every single day. That's going to make a huge, huge, big difference. You could do some lower back extensions too. Super simple exercise. Foam rolling the upper back actually feels good too. It can kind of loosen up some of those muscles that get really, really tight from the day, but also kind of focus on putting you in that good posture position as well. If you are finding value from this and learning something new, please give the video a like so far. Smash that like button. Greatly appreciate it. Another subset of exercises that are actually going to help fix hunchback are going to be pulling exercises. Now, I know that's kind of a vague and general term. Logan, what do you mean by pulling exercises? That could mean anything. Yes, it totally does, but I want you to kind of think about this. Anytime you are taking an object either in front of you or above you, or just to the side of you, and you are pulling it closer to you, that is going to directly work the muscles in your back. And anytime you're working the muscles in your back, those are going to help put you in good posture position. I should say too, anytime you are pulling something closer to you with your arms, that's another key note. So you need to be pulling something closer to you with your arms, whether this is a lat pull down, doing a bent over row where you have an object in front of you and you are just pulling it closer to your chest. Those are all going to be different ways that it actually allows you, excuse me, I got the hiccups this morning. It's going to allow you to work those muscles in the back. So don't overthink it. If you're going to the gym and you're like, is this going to help my posture? Think, am I pulling with my arms that object, that weight, that bar closer to me? If you are pulling anything closer to you, it will help to improve your posture muscles. If you are pushing something away from you, it would sort of help with posture, but those are usually the muscles that are kind of overactive or very, very tight. So bench press, for example, pushing something away from you, that's going to tighten your chest muscles, which can kind of lead to a lot of this bad posture for people. These are just general rules though, and if you're first starting out, this is a good starting place for those exercises. Go ahead and look at some of those online, and I think it could give you some really, really good ideas to start.